So with this, if the lottery has 52 numbers and you're taking 6, lotteries started getting smart, and they don't do this anymore. So it's going to be a combination, picking from 52 numbers, and you're taking 6 at a time. You grab your calculator, and what I mean by they don't do this anymore, they start throwing in other stupid stuff to make it harder for you to understand.
Like the multiplier.
The megaplier bowl or whatever and stuff like that, so that you can't just figure out the odds of winning. Which it's stupid for the people to play it, but smart for them.
I literally don't know anything about the lottery.
That's good. So if you're on your calculator, you punch in 52, go to the math button, go over to probability, down to NCR. It's a combination because the order, like if your numbers are 2, 5, 7, 12, 13, 38, yeah, where's my pen one right there? 38, doesn't matter which order they pop up in. So that's why it's a combination instead of a permutation. We go down to NCR, and then hit NCR, put in 6, and it says 2, 0, 3, 5, 8, 5, 2, 0,
20 million.
which is 20 million. So if you buy one ticket, what's your probability of winning it?
1 out of 20 million.
1 out of 20 million.
So
That's
you
a
could
lot.
buy 20 million for that many tickets and win. I wonder how much the lottery. How much is the lottery pay? Like $6?
2.
$2?
They are now. They used to be $1. I'm
So
not
it'd be like
exactly
$40
sure.
million and you would win. Well, so it,
Yeah, it'd be $40 million.
well, more than that, a little more than that.
So if it got up to, if this lottery with just 6 numbers got up to like 100 million, then it would make sense
to buy
to
that
buy
lottery
20 million lottery tickets.
if you have the money.
The bad thing is, as soon as you do that and you spend that $20 million, and then 10 other people will hit it also,
You got to split the money.
then you gotta split the money and you probably don't get back your 20 million.
And then you got to pay taxes on it and all that. You don't even get taxed on it.
The Ohio, the Mega Millions, I was looking at this. Mega Millions, the way it's set up now, you got 5 numbers, and then you got the 1 mega ball or whatever. And I still can't figure out, because I looked on the Ohio website, and they have the wrong numbers on there. And the bad thing is, they have the wrong numbers for one of the chances of winning, and then they have the right numbers on the other stuff. So I'm not sure. I need to call them and say, hey, hold on, how'd you get this number? Because everything else matches up to what I know how to do here.
I'm a math teacher from
And
Cook
this-
County, and I just checked your math and it's wrong.
This one number doesn't match up, and I don't understand why. So the way this works, this is out of 70. There's 70 numbers. So 1 through 70. And then for the mega ball, there's 25 numbers. So what you have here, your first 5 is just a combination. We're choosing from 70 different numbers, and we're taking 5 of them. And then for the mega ball, we're picking from 25 numbers, but we're only taking 1. All right? And all you do with this to find the total possible outcomes is multiply those two. Use the multiplication rule. So punch this in on your calculator. What do you get for 70C5?
12,
12.
9,
Keep going.
12,103,000, 14.
14.
I really read a big number like that in a while.
And when we're reading big numbers like this, you don't have to read the numbers to me. Just read the numbers. Don't tell me what it is. Punch in 25C1. 25. You're picking from 25 numbers, you're taking them one at a time. There's 25 different ways. Then you multiply those two together, and what do you get?
3025 75 350. It wouldn't even make sense to multiply. Spend 600.
That's a lot.
So for the Mega Millions, it's 600. Now I think at once it was up to like $1 billion or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So then,
If you have the money,
right, if you got $600 million to spend,
just for fun.
I could care less to spend the lottery than if I got that much
I
money.
might
to
choose
spend.
some money.
when I looked it up, this, if you hit 5 numbers without the Mega Ball, if you hit 5 numbers without the Mega Ball, you win $1 million. So you win $1 million. And when I looked it up, the odds of winning that isn't this.
What did they say it was like?
I can't remember what it was.
But was it lower or higher?
I think it was higher. And I couldn't figure out why they would put that on there.
Because then it would make people think that their odds aren't as good and it doesn't
Right.
make them want to play.
The odds of winning it all, the jackpot, that's the correct number.
So how they not getting
So I have no idea how this number's not the same.
We should call them and be like, how did you do your math?
Yeah.
Oh, right now.
And
With
then we'll
us in
explain
here.
to them.
With us in
We
here,
know
we're
how
like,
to
we
do
all
it.
just did this math.
And you're wrong.
I ain't
You're
explaining
wrong.
nothing. I will sit here
Now-
and listen.
Part of it might be this. Well, no, that can't.
They're wrong.
I guess it could be, I don't know, because you could do the Megaplier, which is something about times. You can times your winnings by 2, times 3, times 4, times 5. They draw out another ball and it says one of those on, I don't know, I don't play the lottery, so. But you can multiply your winnings by that, unless it's the jackpot. The jackpot, there is no multiplying it by anything. But if it's $1 million or less, you can multiply it by that by paying extra money to get the Megaplier ball or whatever.
My dad's mom and dad still watch them do it on TV. They've been bought them forever. They watch it on TV like Tuesday, Thursday nights, whatever night it is.
There's people that go to the bar
They've done
and
it
stuff.
since the 70s.
My wife always buys them when they get up to so much, and I'm never paying attention.
If you're like buying one just for the fun of it, I don't think there's any harm. But if you're like hardcore, like
I can't.
have a gambling problem,
I can't stand going into a gas station. People buy those scratch offs and you're sitting there for 15 minutes because they're buying 500 scratch
Yeah.
offs.
The one that kills me the most is the pick 3.
Yeah.
The pick 3, because they do this every day, so they make money every day to continue to draw in money. Pick 3, the way it's set up, numbers are 0 to 9. So you can't really use permutations or combinations for it. It's just, there's 10 choices for this number, 10 for this one, 10 for this one. It's just the multiplication rule. Or, not multiplication rule, what is that? Well, you guys better know it for this test. The fundamental counting principle. 10 times 10 times 10. And that's 1,000. So your chances of winning when you pick your number is 1 out of 1,000. If you hit that number, you win $500. Each ticket costs $1. And the reason that this one kills me so much, if any of the casinos or anything in Ohio or Indiana or any of those, if they had a game like this, the state of Ohio would shut them down. Because there's got to be better odds than this for any game at a casino.
But the government can do it.
But the government can do it.
what do you mean like better odds? Like why?
Because look at what they're doing here. The odds,
Because they're like doubling their money.
right, the odds of winning. So you win one time and you lose how many times?
999.
That's the odds of winning.
So what's the odds of like a slot machine? Like how many?
A lot better than that.
Really?
Now, when you win on a slot machine, that doesn't mean you win a whole bunch of money,
Yeah.
but odds of winning.
Yeah.
So 1 to 99. Well, if this was a fair game, if it was fair, instead of paying you out $500,
They give you like 1,000.
they would pay you
999.
$999. So what they expect casinos to do, they don't expect casinos to pay out $999 because then you're just breaking even all the time. So casino, it would have to be like at least $800 or something that they paid out.
Which they
So,
don't lose money.
so it's a little closer. So that they're making some money, but not,
Taking over.
right, not just completely taking everybody's money.
Because do they take
Do you
the other
take-
500 and put it towards like the Mega Millions or whatever, or do they just like?
They say they put it towards education, which,
It's
Sure.
Dear liars.
other questions?
Right.
Everybody understands permutations and
Hold
combinations.
on. 27.
27? 27. In how many distinguishable ways can the letters in the word statistics be written?
Can we do this
Yeah,
one?
we did this one.
Yeah, we sort of did, but I think I said four letters in.
Yeah.
So we want distinguishable. Well, maybe we didn't say four. I don't know. How many letters are in the word statistics?
10.
10.
But
So 10 factorial on top. How many S's are there?
3 of them.
So we gotta do 3 factorial times, how many T's?
3.
3 factorial times, how many A's?
You don't have to do that one because
It's
this is
just one, so we don't need it. How many, we already did T's, how many I's?
2.
2.
So 2 factorial. S's again, I think we already did S's. T's we already did, I's we already did, C's,
There's like
1, S's, so that's all of them, right?
Yep.
So 10 factorial
religious
means 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And on bottom, we got 3 times 2 times 1 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 1.
That's a lot.
I got my times there.
3 times 21.
So if we do this, let's see, 3 times 2 times 1 is 6, I'll get rid of that. 3 times 2 times 1 is the same as this down here, we'll get rid of that. 2 times 1 is 2, we could get rid of this and make that a 2. Then we just gotta multiply 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 5 times 2. What is that? That's 720, 4,000, no, 5,000. I can't do it in my head. That'd be 7,200 times 7.
50,000.
14, 49, 50,400, is that right?
Yeah.
That's just terrible. So 1 plus 2 plus 4.
So what's the probability of actually spelling statistics if we just pick the numbers at random out of a hat?
1 out of
1 out of 50,000.
1 out of 50,400.
That's crazy. Only out of 4 letters.
Wait.
Other questions? No others?
We should do
We should do not notes.
Never mind.
Yeah, we should play trash basketball.
No way.
No way.
You guys were horrible last time.
We whooped you.
Because I about gave you the game.
Okay, but
Does it
yours
smell
is.
bad when you-
Still lost. It's still won it out. We still got win in the win column.
It was like you guys playing the
We're one step
Milwaukee
closer to winning
Bucks
than
or
you are.
something.
You're the geometry teacher, you're better at angles.
One step closer to winning
Something
than
I
you
forgot
are.
to put on here, what was it? What were we just talking about, because I forgot to put it on here.
Green.
No, we
On
You
the Mill
said
County
from
The
principal.
addition, we did the addition.
We did the addition roll.
That little, what's that one thing called? Exclamation point thing. That's so mad.
What was it? I just remembered it, and I thought, man, I didn't put that on.
That was the addition roll.
I'll think of it here in a minute. I don't want you to write this down anyway. This is the review notes. We'll go through this, we'll write down a bunch of stuff with each thing.
Right, yeah.
Not a whole lot, you don't have to write down anything if you don't want.
Well, okay.
I don't check your notes.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
But.
So we were talking about the lottery.
It's weird.
What was I thinking? Fundamental accounting principle. Oh, that's what that- Oh, odds. That's what it is.
Wait, what did you share with us?
The review packet, I think.
Oh,
I don't remember.
I didn't check
I figured that's what it was, I didn't remember. I saw it like that.
So remember, probability of an event, always favorable outcomes over total outcomes. Doesn't matter what kind of probability it is, it's always favorable over total. Factorial, we just talked about factorial. You need something for factorial, and this n factorial, same thing. 6 factorial just means 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Odds, I don't know how I forgot to put odds on here. With odds, remember, if it's odds to win, then it's always going to be wins compared to losses. If it's odds to lose, then it's losses compared to wins.
So which way is it when they show like on Sports Center or whatever?
It's usually,
Wins the losses?
Cause like when you say like the football score, you say like 6-2 or like.
most of them, like with horse racing,
Yeah.
they'll show a horse and it'll say their odds are 3-2. That means they're gonna run a total of how many races?
5.
And they're gonna win 3 of those times. And if you're betting on a horse that has odds like this, you're not gonna do very well because you're betting $3
You're gonna win
to
2.
win 2.
No.
Alright?
So that's what people bet on like the 1 in 75
Right.
horses.
That when you see a horse that's 1 to 75, that means out of 76 races,
He's gonna win 1.
they're gonna win 1, but you're hoping that they win this one because
Because
if
you're gonna get
you
your-
bet $5 on them, then you're going to get 5 times 75, that much money for your $5.
I think this is just a gambling class.
So
I always wondered how to do that.
when you have wins and or when you have odds, if I give you a probability 5 out of 6, and I say write the odds of winning, how many times are you going to win here?
5 out of 1.
5, and how many times are you going to lose?
6 times.
Well,
11.
If you go 5 out of 6, you're going to, if your
One.
probability, it's just 1, all right? So you need to be able to switch back and forth from these. What's the odds of losing on this?
1 to
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
probability of rolling a 2 on a die, the probability is not 2, it's 1 out of 6. The odds of rolling a 2 is 1 compared to 5. Because you're gonna roll a 2 once for every 5 times you don't roll a 2. So odds, should be able to change from odds to probability and probability to odds back and forth. Sample spaces. Remember, a sample space is a list of all outcomes. So if we were going to write the sample space for rolling a die, what could we get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
That's your sample space. Just listing them all out. Tree diagram, remember a tree diagram just looks something like this.
So we make our sandwiches, right?
Yeah. And then out here you would have like head 1, head 2, head 3, head 4, and all those. And all of this out here would be your sample space. That'd be the list of everything that could happen. Fundamental counting principle. To find the total possible outcomes for something using the fundamental counting principle, we just take possible, can't spell, outcomes, event 1 times possible outcomes, event 2 times so on, so on, so on. So that was when, like, how I dressed today. If we know that Ebersole has 15 shirts, so I walked into my closet and the first event was I picked a shirt and I have 15 of them. There was 15 I could choose from. I had 10 pair of pants. So times 10, this is event 1, event 2. The third event might be my shoes. I have 3 pairs of shoes. That's event 3. To find all the possible outfits that I could have made this morning, you just multiply all those together.
What was that?
Is that in your board?
No, there's something written on it. I'm trying to figure out why it's still on there. So fundamental counting principles, stuff like license plates, we can use that for license plates. You know that there's 26 letters in our alphabet. So if Ohio's license plate looks like this, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, we could see how many different possible license plates there are by taking 26 possible outcomes for this times 26 for the second letter times 26 for the third letter. Numbers would be 0 to 9, so that's 10 of them. So times 10, times 10, times 10. I don't know if we can use 0 or not, but probably not. They'll tell you that in the problem if not. So if they say the state does not use zeros, and instead of 10 we go 9.
I would definitely make my license pay every single.
So that's fundamental counting principle. That's just, again, just finding total possible outcomes. Types of probabilities. Before you write this down, what were the 3 types of probabilities?
Simple. No.
Us.
Yeah, you can look at it.
Just say it.
Yeah, because I make fun of you all the time.
Conditional.
What is it?
Conditional. Classical. Empirical.
I agree.
Empirical.
Subject.
Objective.
Remember classical? Classical is just using the math. Empirical is when you use like a survey or something, you gather information. So you're just getting it from some info that you have. And then subjective is when you're looking at probabilities for like car insurance or something like that. You're making a decision, saying, all right, there's a 65% chance that Jenna's gonna wreck her car before she turns 25.
She has drove through a
Yes, yes, she has.
She will not wreck my car.
I said that.
Joe- Drove through a cornfield?
It's not a wreck.
I didn't say wreck your car. I said you drove through a cornfield.
She thought somebody was chasing her. It was me, like Caleb and Clay. She didn't recognize the car.
No, they were putting stuff on my car.
And she
They
whipped
were
it through the
putting whipped
cornfield.
cream on
It
it.
was me, Isaac,
I
Caleb.
drove through the cornfield.
We trapped her in some random person's house.
Whipped
And
it through the
drive-through,
field.
she just.
And it worked. And
It
I
did
got
work.
away.
It did work.
Good job,
I will
George.
not forget. Michael had his location on it, and I would scout there at your house, and she was out there. No, they're not. It
Wait,
hit
I
like
had
by
it
the
on
barn. Yeah. You guys were sitting in Caleb's car with the lights off.
Are we really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All probabilities gotta be 0 to 1. If the probability is 0, what's that telling you?
It's not gonna happen.
Can't happen. Probability is 1, what's that telling you?
It's 100% likely. So,
Always, will always happen. If I remember what the law of large numbers is.
As an experiment repeated over and over, the empirical probability of the event approaches the theoretical probability of the event.
So all that's saying is, if we take a coin out and we flip it, if I flip it 3 times, heads, 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 does that mean it's gonna come up heads every time?
No.
No, the more I do that, the closer it's gonna get to 50% heads, 50% tails. Complement of an event.
it's like the opposite. It's like,
Okay, so it's like the opposite of an event. So, and the complement and events always gotta add up to what?
well,
Always gotta add up to 1. So if I say the probability of rolling a 2 on a die, what's the probability of rolling a 2 on a die?
1 out of 6.
1 out of 6.
The complement would be 5 out of 6.
What's the complement? Complement of that would be 5 out of 6. That's everything else other than getting a 2. Conditional probabilities, independent and dependent. What's independent mean again?
It's by itself.
No,
It doesn't.
it's not relying on.
No, I don't like
Okay.
any other information.
Do not
Rely.
affect each other. So two events don't affect each other. So when one happens, that doesn't change the probability of the other one happening. So this might be something like, an example might be, you flip a coin and then roll a die. What you get on the coin doesn't affect what's going to happen on the die. What's dependent?
It does rely on.
Something has to happen.
Okay, so they somehow affect each other. That's with like the deck of cards. With the deck of cards, if I pull out one card and it's a king, and I got it in my hand right here, what's the probability that I pull out another card and it's a king?
3 out of 51.
3 out of 51, right? Because I have one of them. Now, if I put the first king back, what's the probability that I pull a king the second time?
4 out of 50.
4 out of 52. Then they would be independent. So you got to be able to tell when they're independent, when they're dependent. Multiplication rule, sort of with the word and. So maybe we say something like probability, if we're flipping a coin and rolling a die, we want the probability that we get a head and we get a 5.
What was it said? So,
What's the probability of getting a head?
what, 1/2?
And all we do for the multiplication rules, we take this probability times, what's the probability of getting a 5? And we multiply those, so what's the probability of getting a head and a 5? 1 out of 12. Got to know the difference between the multiplication rule and the addition rule, which we'll get to here in a second. With the multiplication rule, it's sort of like we're doing two separate things here. I hate to say that because it's other things that same way. Mutually exclusive and not mutually exclusive. What's it mean to be mutually exclusive?
That's where it can or cannot.
Cannot happen at same time. So two things that we're talking about can't happen at the same time. Like if I'm drawing your names out of a hat, I can't get Braden's name and a female's name at the same time. They're mutually exclusive. They can't happen. With the addition rule, that goes right along with mutually exclusive. Remember, it looks something like this. Probability of A plus the probability of B. That gives you a probability. The only difference is if the events are not mutually exclusive, if they can happen at the same time, then we got probability of A plus the probability of B, and we have to subtract off the probability that A and B happen together. So if I say, if I put all your names in a hat, and I say I want to draw a female name or Lily's name, well, the probability of drawing a female name is what?
1 out of 4.
4 out of
Or 4 out of 8.
8.
However many you say right now.
Cody's not here, so 4 out of 7.
Or Mariana.
So 4 out of 7. Probability of drawing Lily's name is what? 1 out of 7. Now if I do that, it looks like the probability is 5 out of 7. But we counted Lily here and here, and we can't do that. So we got to subtract off 1 out of 7, and that leaves us with probability of drawing Lily's name or a female is 4 out of 7. Now most of the time it won't be like this. or those two are just the same thing and they cancel out. That's not what's gonna happen all the time. That's just using this little sample. Permutations. Probably wouldn't write all this. I'd probably write, permutations, for sure the formula there. I don't know, write down whatever you need to write down to help you remember which one's permutations, which one's combinations. Permutation is an ordered arrangement. Remember, which of these numbers always has to be bigger?
The first one.
N has to be the bigger one. So you're saying, I got 10 items and I'm taking them 4 at a time, or whatever. Here, maybe you got 10 items and you're taking them 3 at a time. Make sure you can find the permutation stuff on your calculators under the math button. Distinguishable permutations, and I would just write down that in the formula. Distinguishable permutations, remember you just take each one that repeats and how many times they repeat. And you put that number factorial on the bottom to divide by it. And combinations. When you look for combinations is that.
And your order doesn't matter too, right?
Right. I always hate to say that because then I say permutations is like a race. I don't, that's just sort of confusing. But in this, 1, 2, 3 is the same as 3, 2, 1. Those two are the same, so we don't count them both. And that's what this extra R factorial on the bottom is that we're divided by there.
You can say yesterday, permutations it matters and then combinations it doesn't matter. The order does. Or not yesterday. You're so cool. Comes out that
With probabilities, just remember when you're doing permutations, combinations, fundamental counting principle, all that stuff, you're finding the bottom number. Alright, so you're not actually finding a probability when you're finding any of that stuff. You're finding how many possible outcomes are in the event. That's all this slide really says. You're not finding the probability. So if you find, hey, there's 32,540 permutations, and you have one, then the probability is 1 out of 32,540. That's how you would find the probability of the event occurring, whatever that event is that we're dealing with. But the permutations and combinations is always that bottom number. Fundamental counting principle, same idea, it's the bottom number, it's the total possible outcomes that you're finding using those three things. The quiz, I can't remember why I put this on here as far as the quiz. You have a test next time. I think the quiz, it might be the class after that. And I just put it on here so that I can. I didn't get it to go to it. You sure?
Yeah. Here's another one.
Dang it, you jerk. You're such a jerk. Oh, you're a jerk.
Print one off or?
I came in for it, remember?
Oh, I thought you did it.
I can use the restroom.
Yeah. I used it after him. Because he wants to be a jerk.
No, girls first. I just drank this whole thing of water.
You're a girl. I thought you were a woman.
First question is hot water.
Is it?
Yeah.
Make sure I don't put it on the test.
Bro, I don't even know it, bro.
Are you ready for now?
Shut up, Michael.
Here in a second, what we're gonna do, I have some questions. I'm gonna let you draw out of a hat.
I hope I get it easy.
And if you can answer the question,
The second one's the hardest one, though.
and we'll do this for about 15 minutes or so. If you can answer the questions, then I will give you, if I can find it, I will give you one of the test questions.
Oh. What a, like a piece of candy.
You'd rather have a piece of candy?
Facts, yeah.
I
Surprisingly
don't know,
good.
I need these test questions.
So we'll make Michael go out in the hallway during this, and then each time I write the test question up there, he's got to go out in the hallway while we're talking about it, and I'll give him a piece of candy.
I had a question. What is that?
It's probably to explain
Looks like a box.
3D fingers and stuff.
Nah, it looks like, I don't know.
Did you make it myself?
I don't, duct tape and.
He said orange and brown, school colors.
And
With a
blue.
little bit of blue.
Yeah.
And white.
Exactly.
What are you looking for?
Bag of questions. I don't know what I did with it. They rolled with my calculator. If I don't find these here in the next minute or so, we'll just start doing questions off the review packet. Anything that you want to see, so you can look at those and.
That's what it would do. No, not even me.
Just
Uncooked.
uncooked.
I eat spaghetti and tomatoes like that.
You see what you did? You're the reminds me. Hey, one.
I don't care.
N factorial over N1 factorial, N2
Times.
factorial,
And 3 factorial.
and so on.
Do you want me to, would you like me to put them back in the bag or take them out?
I'll put it back in there. If somebody draws it, they'll remember.
Okay.
Hey, that'd be good.
There you go. What's that test question?
Pick a number. 1. I'll write this up here. I'll probably forget and erase it.
6.
1 to 35.
These are test questions, not review packet questions. So they're not the same.
25, yeah.
25?
Yep.
That's not Michael Allison. He said he didn't want the test question. I'll make him stand outside.
He didn't answer this question anyways, so.
25. Now, I have no idea whether this will actually be 25 on your test or not. And be careful. As you know, Ebersole's a jerk, and usually tests have like more than one form. So the question will probably be similar, not maybe exactly the same. 25, it says, you said you didn't want the questions, so I locked you out. Huh? Slide $1 under the door and I'll let you in. I don't want you. Did you pick up a bag of
Bag of
chips?
chips?
Did you pick up a bag of chips in the bathroom?
No.
You found them?
No, I got
Found them in the bathroom. I don't know that either. Of the
Yeah.
probability,
Is this a review packet?
No.
It's a test question.
It's a test question.
They're not exact.
experiment,
Hang on. Let me get something fast. Slow your roll.
shooting a free throw. Oh, I will not give you the answers to these, so you guys gotta decide them on your own.
Okay.
And basketball.
Wait, if I-
These sounds more right.
Probably not.
Okay, then what's the point? I'm doing it.
So like out of like
I'll
two
smile
shots?
if, I'll smile if you're right.
Oh, okay. Out of like 2 shots?
Well, it depends on how
Like
many
what's-
shots you're taking.
Exactly.
You can shoot 3 if you get fouled, go 3-point, and you shoot 1 if
You can shoot 1, 2, 3.
3.
You shoot 1 or 2.
Well, I think she's
And
asking.
free throw. Oh.
Oh.
How good is the basketball?
It's
The
like
sample space, so like
space.
so the sample space would just be you miss
I
it
eat my
or you
chips.
remake it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think he said that. At least I asked. Well, at least I was like, it don't last.
Yeah, that's the sample space. You make it or you miss.
That's the sample
I don't know
size,
what
that's
that
what
means. I don't know what the question
Yeah,
is.
it's all possible.
That's all,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, make her mesh. Number 1, make her mesh.
Watch me all get it wrong. He's not smiling. How do you know?
Because his eyes.
His eyes are kind of squinty.
He's smiling now.
Smiles.
Got him.
Key thing here is what?
Smiles.
Sample space.
What you got for us, Riley?
What is the multiplication rule? Use an example to help explain it.
The multiplication rule, can I answer it?
Yeah.
It's when there's like and,
Oh.
and, it basically means
It's like getting.
Probability of an event and the other to find the total probability of getting both.
it would be like if you roll, if you're flipping a coin and rolling a dice, it would be the probability of heads and the number 5. And then you would take the probability of both of those and multiply them to get your total.
Confused.
What?
I'm lost.
And then you take like
Michael's lost too.
1/2
I don't know
times
about that.
1/6
Well-
equals 1/12, and that's your probability of doing both things.
Wow, you made something.
You have to multiply the probability of both together.
Yeah.
You get it?
Notice again here, it uses the word,
And.
so we're actually only doing one thing. We're doing two separate things because we're flipping a coin and rolling the die,
But it's the probability of both.
but our final outcome is just one thing. We want to head 5. Pick a number.
6.
What's this for?
That's what you're picking a question to
We
read.
don't do it yet.
That's the ones that we have to
And then we
answer.
get a test question to do that.
And then the
Oh,
test
we didn't get that right?
questions-
No,
We
we
did,
didn't.
that's why we
gave
just
you
picked
the
number
test
6.
I'm so confused, bro.
Okay, that bag has a list of questions.
You're just gonna read
that we
it.
have to review
But
over.
if I'm gonna read
You
it,
read it, if
He
we get
will.
it right, then he gives us a test question.
That way we
you
can.
just got it right though.
He's
That's
giving
why
us,
he's
he's giving
giving
us
us
this
a test
question right
question.
now.
We picked number 6.
We picked number 6 for him to give us.
Okay. I'm still confused. Alright. What's the first one?
The free throw.
Like, what was the number?
Who's making this?
We picked number 25, but he said that they might not even be in order, so.
Hey, man. Come on, man. Believe it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see this part. It's got directions above it. I won't pay any attention.
Who'd you get it from? What? I can't hear you.
See, I thought you said
No, nothing at all. Leave on, long something.
Pizza. I mean, wait, so we haven't seen this.
Six.
Huh?
It's probably chicken.
Good.
It's probably something with chicken.
I eat too much.
They're running out of, you know why we didn't have pizza yesterday? We just had breadsticks.
What version was Frank?
Bosco sticks or
Because
Bosco?
they said that, we have like a food shortage or something. They're running out of food. That's why like all the food keeps repeating.
Well,
Oh, nice.
best thing they got on the menu, Bosco sticks and mini corn dogs.
Mini
That's
corn
it.
dogs. Well, the last time I got some mini corn dogs, they were literally like almost cold and on there. Mini corn dogs. But they're fire. If I put them in the air fryer,
Got it. What did your party?
the air fryer is like pizza rolls.
So nice.
And what's it?
Yeah.
It's like fries. Like if you have leftover fries from a
Sorry,
restaurant,
I think we
they
need
put
to
them in there. They're just as like brand new.
I've never tried
Cause you
that.
know how like fries are like soggy.
Yeah.
Not.
Because you know, like, you can't say fries before air fryer.
Okay. Alright. Tell me the number.
We're talking about air fryer. Sound like mom.
Decided if
No,
the
We're talking about
event,
the crock pots.
if the event is
We're already
simple
excited.
event or not, explain. Huh?
An event consists of a sequel outcome. An event consists of It's not a simple event. Could be more than one outcome.
Yes. Could be 3 outcomes.
You guys want, you tell me the answer and I'll write it up there. I'm not gonna say if it's right or not, but everybody wants to.
Oh, so that's what you did for the first one.
It's not a simple event.
Because
There's
there's-
one outcome.
There's 3 outcomes.
Yep, I agree.
So you guys are just gonna tell each other?
Wait, hang on. That
Hey,
is
Mr.
a simple-
Ebersole.
Yeah,
It's not
because
a
we're all
simple-
in this together.
It's not a simple event.
It's, I know,
it's not a simply mix.
'Cause there's
You
more
can
than one
roll
outcome.
multiple even numbers.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Can I have an apple? What's an apple though? Go on.
Are we ready?
Yeah, not snap, not snap.
Take the next one.
I just, or you're up, Michael.
I thought you were gonna write the answer like
Draw an example of a tree diagram.
They started just,
It's like the sandwiches.
that. Oh, it's like sandwiches, you can choose your.
Your bread and your meat.
Can I do it? Yeah, go ahead, Lauren. Yes. Oh my gosh. So fun.
Heads and tails.
Both.
Okay, so we got white bread and wheat bread, right? And then you can choose turkey or ham. And then turkey or ham. And then cream cheese, guys.
Colby Jack.
American, Colby Jack, and,
We don't have to go that deep, there's two of them.
Just do it.
American.
So we got American, Colby.
Pepper Jack's so good.
Pepper Jack is so good. That's my favorite.
You don't like Pepper Jack?
I said is so
No,
good.
that's why Mr. Ebersole shake his head.
I'm shaking my head because she's messing it up.
Why?
Cause you gotta write them both, you gotta write American Colby
Yeah, you gotta
four
write them.
times. For
Oh.
the first thing.
Yeah, because this goes that way and this goes this way.
You got you, Lily.
Boop, boop.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then you write
And then-
a white turkey with
And
American.
then, yeah,
White ham American.
white. Can I write over
Start at the bottom and then we'll get what you're doing.
Okay, I'm just gonna start right here then. And then your outcomes, all of your outcomes, this is your sample space.
Why don't you just abbreviate it,
That's what I was
WTA.
gonna do, white, American.
Why is it with
turkey? So, this is what? And then we have
Yeah.
white, ham, and American, right?
Yes.
Yeah, American. Then you have white, and then turkey,
You guys
And
did this.
Colby.
and Colby. Then you have white, ham, Colby.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, yeah. But that's.
I wish you did the next
about
one.
it.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I think I did.
I don't think you do.
Just do
It's
W.
the same thing, you don't wheat,
Do WT turkey A, then put WETA.
wheat, turkey, American,
All right.
wheat, turkey, Colby.
I was wondering how she was gonna abbreviate
Yeah.
wheat,
Wheat.
Leave me alone.
because white and wheat.
Start with the same
There
two
you go.
letters.
Put your phone flat.
What? Still need this, got branches coming off all.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not from water.
Number 10.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank
Good job,
you.
Lily.
Thank you. I tried.
Thank you.
We got 11. Did she
Marinara
call her
sauce.
marinara sauce?
Yeah.
That's what Michael calls it.
Yeah, she says she's going back to online. She's just.
How's your nickname, bro? Her.
I'm not gonna be here no more.
Otherwise, I say she's marinara sauce now.
What number is this one?
Yeah.
I thought somebody said number 10.
Yeah, this is 10.
This is 10.
Last one is 6.
Michael, we're not on the test, we have to review this yet.
I have to review
We're doing tests.
it. Oh. So we say random numbers?
Yeah. 1 through 35.
Use like a clown.
I'm like a clown?
No, you sound like one when you
You
laugh.
giggle,
Like,
no, he giggles like that. That was very good.
thing. I was thinking that.
Oh.
It's like a circus listening to you guys.
This class is so fun. What's your favorite class, aren't you? Probably.
I mean, probably because it's the smallest.
But
What's
with
the class that you're in first block this stay? That class is huge.
Transition.
It's huge.
How many people are in here?
Like every seat is filled when I come in here.
Basically the whole thing in class.
Why did you come in here, first block?
Huh? Because I ate in the office and like sometimes I have to like put in papers and stuff. There's so many.
So there's
people.
every seat filled in here?
Almost.
That'd be horrible.
Like when I walk in, I feel like I can't walk to his desk.
That'd be terrible.
And basically, it's the rest of.
Yeah.
The senior class.
I like it though. I like this class. That's cool. Trina's just over there by herself though.
Yeah. Well, Curtis sits right there. Yeah. And then marinara sauce is sitting there.
No, Marinara is by herself up there.
Yeah, marinara isn't a lot.
She's gonna watch this video and be like, what did they call me?
Oh, that's right, he turned it off.
I marinara. You didn't turn it on because they were recording.
She's gonna be like, what did they call me when I
I don't know. She told me that when she watches the video, she can barely hear the sound. So.
Do I need to yell?
Yeah.
I marinara. Hopefully she hears that one.
She's probably like, who is that?
Who's Marinara?
I swore I will follow that whole page, so
I
that's.
probably did.
You sent her name, but I heard you was like,
I probably did say some stupid stuff like that. Oh, I didn't think.
Oh my gosh, I have a private word I say tonight.
I'm sorry.
No, you just did.
I
Pick
didn't
it up
catch it.
for me, please.
For what class?
Art.
Art.
Oh my gosh, who
Yeah.
picked this?
Gentlemen.
And so
Not
we have
started
college
yet.
students, 824 said that they cheated on an exam and 120,000.
Oh, they're lying.
Yeah, I know they're lying after that.
I would probably the student.
824 out of 2,550.
Alright. Well, you got it.
Add those two together.
Yeah.
What did you do, Isaac?
Just add those two.
Add the
824
two
and
together.
727. 824 over 200.
What is it?
2,550.
2,551. We got it.
That's
That's.
factual.
No.
Isaac, it's the big question.
You gotta remember on the test too, they'll probably, if it's a multiple choice question or not, they're probably gonna change their answer to what?
Yes.
Decimal
A
or
decimal or simplified, one of the two.
Okay.
Explain the difference between independent events and dependent events.
Independent is.
Independent.
Did I have all this before I erased it?
I have
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Does not affect.
Oh,
Yeah, independent does not affect, does not.
And then dependent affects.
Something that's not
each
going
other.
to happen. Or
Can
relies
you
on
are an
something.
example?
Could be.
Flip a
Okay,
coin
give
for
an example problem
independent.
and give the sample space to your.
Or not there.
Oh.
Independent
Isaac, we're on
would
Isaac's
be
question.
like, roll a dice and spin a spinner or whatever. But then dependent would be, like,
Pick.
Roll a dice, and if you get a
and if you get
Or
two, re-roll.
a 5,
It goes
spin a
out.
spinner.
You can't roll a 5 again. If you
No,
roll a dice,
Just,
roll a
just
5. You can't roll a 5
just
again.
do this. You have to pick.
Or a deck of cards.
You have to pick a king, and then what are your odds if you already picked one?
Yeah.
And if you
yeah.
don't put it back, what are the odds
Yeah, if you
again?
The one he said.
Yeah, you have your king.
I'm just,
Let's do number one.
just vibing with my chair, cuz.
Yeah, I feel like we should go like in the
Make sure we
bigger
get
number.
one right.
Like 35?
Yeah, go to 35. Where our brains are already worn out, and then
Yeah.
you give us some
We're not ready.
800-word essay we gotta write about some. Yeah, facts.
We
Mr.
only
Brian,
have-
oh my
What are we
God.
doing?
35.
35. Number 35.
Mr. Brian says something. Cool.
Our last test, Isaac, what'd you get on my last test?
For what?
Zoology? Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a B. I got an 82.
What'd you get?
63.
I'm going for I didn't do much.
But I had to come in intervention and finish it.
The first one I got 99.
But I think I did good on the quiz.
The first one I think I got like a 97.
Bro, I couldn't, like, I didn't know. This swipe over there, this Rick brother starts talking to me all the time. I'm like,
You should have said, can I do a test?
no.
Yeah, that last test we took, I literally had to come back in intervention and finish it because I feel like they're so long.
Dude, 50 questions is a lot. But it's like, think
How
about
long was the quiz?
20.
It was like, I thought it was like 30.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It
sure
might
it
have
was
been
like
30.
30. As I said, I felt like that was long for a quiz.
It wasn't
I
hard.
know, like some
Yeah, it
teachers'
was
quizzes are like 10 questions.
Literally.
I liked it because it was color.
Yeah, that was nice.
And
That's
color?
what we needed for the cell parts too, I felt like.
Facts.
Yeah, because I did get like one of those wrong.
I got like all of them wrong.
But I couldn't see the ribosomes on the ER, so I didn't know it was
Yeah.
rough, so I just put ER.
I put
And
it
he counted it
smooth.
wrong.
I put smooth.
I didn't know.
Mr. Bryant's a good though.
Yeah, his class is really fun.
He needs to simple it down.
I feel like we do learn a lot.
We
Like,
learn a lot, but he needs to simple it down. I think.
That's what she was talking about.
I don't talk.
Riley and Skylar.
Riley and Skylar talk.
Now, did I put in any of my input for the learn a lot thing? And I still got dragged into the conversation. And Isaac and Michael do talk.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't like, we're not like.
Alright, next time I
screaming.
hear you talk.
You can hear them the whole class.
Yeah,
I can't up front, but.
Thank you,
myself.
Lily. Lily can. And sometimes we have very important issues to talk about.
And Colby said that in class without.
Yeah, Cole's a
Yeah, so, well, at least it's better than
He doesn't.
Gabe. Gabe just sits there and sleeps.
Or
He's
says-
tired.
Facts.
Or
No,
just
'cause-
screams his random outbursts. Like when she touched
If
him.
Mr. Bryant would have put on like the slide that he did, and he didn't do it, I would probably been so sad.
We literally all commented on this thing like,
I know. Come
Come
on,
on,
come on,
Gabe.
dude, you're fine.
Got
You
this,
do it,
Gabe.
Gabe.
Got it. Let's get to it. We should have known he wasn't gonna do it though.
I mean, even Colby didn't do.
Yeah, even Colby